jump into this draft and see how this plays out. Last game, both of these teams had really good drafts. The Yin pick. What were you going to say about the Yin pick? A Revenant's fan for Team Oxygen, but what do you think about the Yin pick?
I want to say I don't think Reborn lost because they had a Yin as opposed to anyone else. The Yin was doing insane amounts of damage. I think it literally just came down to that one small shot calling mistake to do that. The Orb Prime. Morgesh banned out this time, and these teams are pulling the trigger on their draft quickly. They know what they want, and just like that, already we see the drafts taking shape.
Bellica, Twin Blast Howitzer picked up for Oxygen Esports. Reborn, Insta-Locks, Rampage, and Decker, which means we may see another Gideon gameplay coming out. But Twin Blast, Bellica, Howitzer over on the side of Team Oxygen. Bellica, we see her prioritize Shane. If you can get her first draft, most teams pick her first pick. She's just such a strong anti-caster, and Team Reborn.net has been playing that hero so well.
Yeah, it's been I would say the best Bellica performance we've seen. The last time we saw Bellica play this well was Suki played a just disgusting Bellica, but Ramrils is showing why Team Oxygen is here, not only through the team play, but also him as an individual player. This draft, man, these guys, they sure knew what they wanted as moving along here. And this time, Reborn are going to pick up the Sparrow as opposed to the Yin. Sparrow still serves a similar purpose. She's just a hyper carry late game, does disgusting amounts of damage. Still has a big cleave and synergizes very well with Decker.
Oxygen is going to pick up Grux and FaZe. So there's the lineup for Team Oxygen: Bellica, Twin Blast, Howitzer, Grux, and FaZe. Reborn, they've got Rampage, Decker, Greystone, Sparrow. With the amount of CC they have and the amount of control, I would be surprised if we don't see Gideon again. Solo Nazgul, not much of a presence the last game, and they are going to go with Gideon again. Is he going to be able to be more of an impact on this particular fight? He missed a couple really crucial black holes that last match, and again, a couple shot calling moments, but another solid lineup for both of these teams. If I'm Reborn, though, I'm a little nervous having Meds back on that hero. Back on Grux.
So Nazgul had a good Gideon game during the early stages.
Right.
I think he was shut down. Oxygen shut him down, despite the fact that they didn't have really any tools available to them to interrupt the black hole. They still were able to shut down Nazgul indirectly. Phasma was always making sure he had his pull up in time. Anytime a squishy hero was caught out in the black hole, whether it was Imsco or Ramrils, whom else, he was able to pull them out. Meds was generally the one getting caught in black holes, but at that point, it's a Severog. He already had a Toon Barrier online, and he was pretty much just there to soak the damage up and wasn't that worried about it. I want to see a little bit more presence out of the Gideon in the middle and later stages of the game. I think maybe other than the shot calling Nazgul, I just really didn't feel his presence later on. That's, I think, where Reborn can really up their play and bring this to a full Game 3 series.
Well, we're about to find out, Shane. This is game number 2. Team Oxygen Esports versus Team Reborn.
Stand by. There we go.
Versus Reborn here. We're jumping in. Shane.
And we're good. My game locked up, boys. We're good.
Perfect.
Made you look, chat. Guys, thank you. Yes, thank you so much for supporting us thus far. We're breaking some viewership records.
Oh,
Game 2 coming at you, man. Notch, taking a look at the drafts. Do you think one team has an advantage over the other?
Have we started?
Nope, we're good.
Taking a look at these drafts. I want to say Reborn again. We said it last time. Reborn has the stronger draft, but it came down to how they played. And Team Oxygen just played a little bit better. So, I mean, again, Reborn does have a stronger draft, but they have to play it perfectly. They have to really play this well. And with the aggression already, I mean, look at the rotations coming in. It's another. They're waiting
the same
here.
Thing. They're hanging out on the other side of the fog wall. Oh man, Meds, don't go through that wall. Don't do it. Oh, he's getting caught out. Reflector's leading the front charge. The double man smasher grab. How is Meds not dead? He literally was taking up 5 team members, and now they're looking to turn around maybe onto Reflect. Last time Leo Grande died there. I feel like these teams are just completely aware. Like Meds just knew going into that Reborn was going to be right there. I don't know how he lived right there. That was insane.
So jumping in, Shane, now that the aggression is done, everybody's lived. Introduce the team you want to introduce, my friend.
I did Reborn last time. I'm going to switch it up here and do Reborn. NATO Sick on Sparrow and playing Paragon. Solo Nazgul on Gideon. Reflect on Greystone, Jebaited. Master Splinter on Decker. And Joseph Leo Grande picking up the Rampage.
Imsco is going to be on Twin Blast. Phasma back on Phase. Meds is going to be on Grux. Arsenic is playing Howitzer. And TeamReborn.net on Bellica.
So, taking a look at the lanes, once again, Oxygen pulling out this duo mid. Now, this duo mid, it has the capability of mitigating Nazgul and hindering his farm and his progression. Game number 1, it really didn't do that. The way that they played this duo mid instead was just being able to play so reactively that Imsco and Phasma could always rotate to a green buff, to a river buff, any objective that was going on in the early game. That's the strength of this duo mid. Yes, it can mitigate mid laners, but you don't do it for that. You do it for the flexibility and to empower reactive play styles, which is exactly what Oxygen has.
Yes, and if we see a little bit more aggression out of, I think, Leo to the mid lane, really try and shut down the farm or pick up these ganks onto Phasma and Imsco because they have been playing aggressive in this lane. They are a little bit overextended. We saw it last time. The moment Solo hit level 5, we saw that rotation from Decker and Rampage. They were able to pick up some kills. I'd like to see more of that to really try to deny them farm and deny them the strength of this mid lane. We do see your pretty standard Master Splinter NATO Sick against TeamReborn.net. They're going to be trying to apply a lot of pressure to this tower. Their Master Splinter is rotating off. River buff's responding in just a second. Meds is there, but so is Imsco.
Stasis bomb. Is there a boulder? Imsco throws the grenade, but Meds is the one taking a lot of damage. Leo narrowly able to dodge that smash and grab. Purple buff picked up, but really not much Meds is going to be able to do to it since he took so much damage in that little skirmish there.
Yeah, it's really just to deny that from Leo. Picks that up, backs off. There is another. Is that purple buff still? No, it's a bug on my screen. It's gone. It is picked up. You said it. We heard it. I heard you say it. I heard you say it was picked up by Meds. We're gonna see. So the Greystone and the Howitzer lane, Arsenic versus Reflect. Who do you give this lane to?
Arsenic. It's just Greystone is not going to be able to get much going here, though. I don't think it's going to be as bad as Morgesh. Howitzer can win the lane, but he can't dominate it. Morgesh, on the other hand, which Arsenic was on previously, dominates that situation. Reflect almost died several times. With that being said, Reflect still did a really good job at keeping up with farm, but I really don't expect much kill potential here. I think best case scenario for Arsenic is he'll bully Reflect out a couple of times. Reflect's still going to get farm. He's still going to get his levels.
Yeah, definitely still going to get his levels, still get the farm. He's at level 5. Arsenic doesn't really have the push power with Howitzer. So we're going to think we're going to see until we see a rotation here from the team, I think Reborn has the ability, or Reflect has the ability to defend that tower pretty effectively, just under the safety of it.
Right.
Like you said, very low kill potential. Now, TeamReborn.net, Shane, he can 1v2. We've seen him 1v2. We see him get aggressive.
Oh, yeah.
He tends to not miss Seismic Assault. His combo of Seismic Assault and Void Bomb is really strong. Plus the Void Drone and that Mana Soak, depending on where you place it. I mean, I've seen time and time again where they place it a little bit too far forward and it gets killed pretty quickly. Reborn.net doesn't do that very often, but he has the ability to deny.
Meds is getting collapsed on here. He's going to have to play. Oh, man, he knew he was in a bad situation. Immediately charges out.
They're trying to collapse on this river buff when they spawn and pick up a kill on Meds here. He's been at every river buff, the 2 river buff spawnings that have happened. But they're either just a little too late or there's a good rotation coming out of Phasma to make sure that doesn't happen. Not as aggressive on Solo Nazgul this time as we saw them in the previous. Yep. Imsco was in Solo Nazgul's face with the grenade spam. Solo Nazgul now has 5. I want to see a rotation from these guys. I want to see them show up to this mid lane, try and land that combo of a Stasis Bomb Boulder into a black hole.
Yeah, last game it happened like clockwork. This time maybe it'll be a little bit more delayed if it happens at all, primarily because Oxygen is just pushed up against their tower here. Again, Nazgul, despite the fact that he's 1v2, is CSing so well, especially on Gideon, who his auto attack animation can make last hitting consistently pretty difficult. It's a long windup and a little bit clunky of an auto attack animation. But Nazgul, he's pretty much neck and neck with Arsenic, only a couple CS behind. Imsco, Phasma getting aggressive, no kill potential there, really just trying to mitigate as best they can. Meds, Lumen around the corner, has the green buff, doesn't really charge in or anything like that, despite Solo Nazgul not having his toward space. I think more so just showing himself as a threat, maybe try to get a little bit damage on the tower and force someone back. Reflect is the one who's rotating over here, and essentially just really wasting Reflect's time, though there's really not much else for him to do as his wave is pushed up against the safe lane against Arsenic.
I mean, as well as Med plays, just having that presence in the mid lane, just saying, "Hey, guess what? I'm here."
Threat, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those things. Okay, well, I get it. I respect you. I understand you. I'm just gonna stand back here and do my own thing. Is really what that comes down to. Like we saw last time, like clockwork, level 5 came. I think possibly because Leo Grande doesn't have 5 yet, but Meds is here. He wants this black buff. Smash and Grab is going to land on the Meds or onto Leo. Leo is going to pick up that black buff with the boulder, and he is going to get out of there. Purple buff is down. That is going to go on to Meds chain. They do have the ability to gank here. Do they look for the gank with this purple buff up?
There's definitely potential here. I would imagine that Reborn has a beat on it, though. They didn't have a ward in that area to reveal it was a purple buff, but it's 7 minutes. Med's been missing for a while, and he's going to be taking the long way over. I like this route that he's taking because that ward is so commonly placed where it is for Reborn. And Nadosic is going to be in some trouble. Smash and grab the stuns, the Void Bomb. Not much you can do right there. Beautifully done. They get the high priority kill over on to Nadosic. A subtle play was done right there where Master Splinter narrowly able to get away. But there was a subtle play right there where Meds, instead of going intuitively with the route wrapping around behind them, knowing that the ward right there by the river buff to the stairs as it leads to the safe lane is so common that he was better off wrapping around the way he did. And if that was integral to them setting up that kill. If he went with the wraparound, it would have been revealed a no-kill potential there.
Yeah, I like the Warlord's Challenge into the Seismic Assault, into the Smash and Grab, into the Void Bomb combo. Nadosic did not stand a chance. There was just too much CC, too much damage output. Nadosic gets blown up, and like you said, Master Splinter, he ends up getting hit with a Void Bomb under his Tier 1 tower and lived with 48 health. He was able to get out. So you would rather have Nadosic live, but at least it wasn't a 2v2 or two people dead and possibly losing a tower in that situation as well. So Team Reborn.net picking up some kills. He's over here going to be farming, trying to keep this Tier 1 tower alive. We're 8 minutes and 50 seconds into the match. We're going to start seeing the Raptors spawn. We already have a Thick Blood on the map for Arsenic. Arsenic's already picked this up to deal with Leo Grande. And we have Quenching Scales now online for Phasma. So the Thick Blood is picked up right off the bat because of Enrage on Leo Grande and Rampage. So when he goes into a team fight, he's going to be able to apply that damage and make sure that 40% of that regen is denied from that target. And if they decide early game Rampage isn't the tankiest of targets, it may say durable on his tag, but if he doesn't have that resistance, they're not going to be able to pick up. He's not going to really survive very long in those team engagements.
That's a pretty early Thick Blood, but yeah, I guess in the context it makes sense to pick it up this early on, especially when the skirmishing again is being dictated by the jungler support and carry. I think we're in for the long haul here. These lanes, I expect them to stay for quite some time. Raptors are about to spawn. Leo's completely by himself. Does have level 5. Leap is on cooldown. I don't know if he has his ultimate or not. He's going to get taken out. That's an uncharacteristic misplay from Leo, and this should be a pretty straightforward Raptor cleanup here for Team Auction, especially with Meds having the green buff and having utilizing Brux's ability to take it up very early. Nonetheless, we do see a response. Nazgul's there. Was almost able to pick up one of those Raptors with the Cosmic Rift. Still, at least they're going to thwart it off, and they're not going to allow Oxygen to get all of the Raptors without some sort of contention over it. So
is that a misplay by Leo, or is that Oxygen? We're at the 9 minute 30 second mark. We know what engagement's about to happen from these guys. They're going to set up for a gank and try and get Raptors. Let's beat them to the punch. I think that just is Oxygen understanding the play style of Reborn and answering back and countering that. So it's again, it's like clockwork. 9 minutes 30 seconds to 11 minutes. They
Count.
look for a fight, and Oxygen said, "No, we know where you're going to be." Now, the two Raptors are up. It does look like both of these are going to go to NATO sick. They are posturing to engage this, but I don't know if they have the potential to. It's only two there now. The rotation's a little bit slow, so NATO sick will get both of these Raptors.
That was a good game sense coming out of Reborn, realizing that several members of Oxygen backed to spend their card experience, and they had a very small window to pull that off, and they capitalized on it very, very quickly. Getting a card experience lead onto Sparrow is a very good way to set up a strong late game. It's a small lead, but it's a lead you want, and if they can retain that, will translate very, very well 25 minutes plus.
11 minutes into the game, 11 minutes and 30 seconds into the game here.
45 seconds.
I'm going to round
48?
down. That's how math works.
Okay.
IBSCO sitting at 18 card power. NATO 6 sitting at 18 card power. We've got Sol Nazgul picking up that Shadow Scroll early for that little bit of penetration and damage. Very, very common builds at this point. Not a ton of aggression coming out of these teams. Yes, Leo Grande gets picked up. But like we saw last game, Shane, we're in it for the long haul. They respect each other. They know these play styles.
Yep.
At this point, farm. Get to about that 25 to 30 card power, and then I think we'll start to see more engagements. Meds posturing over here, Team Reborn.net.
Void Bomb did not connect. If it did, that could have been kills from the Neurodisruptor follow-up. Just Ramriddles casually, forcing back NATO 6 Master Splinter 1v2. Nothing to see here. Move along, ladies and gentlemen. Med's now rotating over, but he was a little bit late to the party. If he was there earlier, it could have been very easily been a kill. If we take a look at Leo, now he's moving forward to try to, at very minimum, push down the aggressive posturing on the side of Team Oxygen. Taking a look at right lane, it's, not much going on here other than Reflect kind of getting bullied around as expected. 5 seconds, 13-minute river buff to spawning. Who's going to get it? Med's going to try to body block, uses the smasher grab. That's a purple buff, and Meds is able to pick it up. I love this constant battle between Meds and Leo. They're always trying to contest each other over the river buffs, and it's been going back and forth. Though Meds has the purple buff, Reborn's well aware of it.
Arsenic is going to be able to pop the Reforge onto Reflect here, so he can be a little bit more aggressive. He doesn't have the mana, so I don't think he's really going to be able to... R2000 lands, and a huge chunk. Reflect is down to 25% right now. He has to be careful. Arsenic doesn't have the mana for another R2000, but still, don't overstay your welcome. Leo grinding with the rotation behind, and they may actually have kill potential on this right here.
Nazgul gets rooted by the Energy Lance. Not going to happen. That mid-tier 1 tower is very low. Arsenic has maybe overstayed his welcome notch. You were anticipating it. I think that is going to be the case. Knockup minus there. The minions, not enough damage. Here comes Meds. Can he peel away? Leo Grande swipes those big claws of Rampage. Does end up getting the kill, and they're going to go away. That was just, I mean, if you're pushing a tier 2 tower that aggressively, you got to be careful. You got to be so very careful. They didn't have a ward in the weak side of the jungle showing any of the rotations that came out, and we're able to pick that up. Now Leo is getting bossed out by Meds, but he should be okay. Leo actually standing his ground here. He's got to be very careful. I'm not sure what Leo was thinking there. He did not have his ultimate up, and Meds was chewing him apart, and Meds pretty much gets one handed to him on a silver platter.
I mean, I don't really know what just happened there. There was a minion wave. He was taking damage from the minions. He was taking damage from Meds. I don't know why he stood there and leaped forward aggressively. He had the ability to get under the safety of his tower. With Reflect respawning and coming back, they could have protected that. I don't know why he just sacrificed his life for that and gave Meds a kill. Very odd decision in gameplay coming out of Leo Grande there. Not tactical feeding at this point, ladies and gentlemen. Because
I was waiting for it.
That was just feeding, is what that was. That was all that was.
That's the only time he's done that this entire series. Give the man a break. Even players like Leo are prone to mistakes. It happens. It's okay. He's gonna be back on the field. I think more so, Mets is just gonna be like, hey, thanks for the card experience. Business as usual for both of these teams. Ramriddles is continuing to just. I feel like teams don't even bother trying to gank Ramriddles anymore. Because he's just so good at, he just has that sixth sense at knowing when he is about to get rotated on. And I mean, he's 1-0-0, 94 CS. He's been 1v2 this entire match, but yet you would imagine that it's been more like a 1v1, or he's been in the mid lane, or he's been protected. It's not really been the case. Meds has rotated a couple times to secure kills, but for the most part, the duration of this match, Ramriddles has just been in his own world, and it's Ramriddles' world over on the left side of the map. Nadosic just farming up, and you can tell Reborn are playing for the late game here. They're not being quite as aggressive as they were in game number 1 here. Instead, playing a little bit more passive, finding opportunities, but not forcing the issue too much. Unless, well, to the exception of what just happened. Other than that, they're not forcing the issue too much.
Raptors have spawned Imsto, Phasma, Meds, and Arsenic are all here. There is going to be an answer coming out of Master Splinter, Nadosic, and Rio Grande. Don't know if they're going to be able to get here in time to contest all 3 of these.
Nazgul's here. Nazgul's level 9. He has that the second ultimate online. Meds is caught out. Arsenic is the one who's going to take the boulder. He has the Make It Rain online. Containment Fence used only as Meds, more so I think to dissect this team fight surgically and try to cut the artery of Oxygen, but it's not going to be the case. Reflect's going to get taken going to almost be taken down. Reforged put on cooldown, not going to be happening though. Nazgul,
where was the ultimate from Solo Nazgul?
Yeah, I was just about to say that. I felt like there was an opportunity for a black hole. Patience being displayed, maybe a little bit overly patient though.
Does it have something to do with the fact he doesn't have Tainted Magic online? I mean, he had a 3 to 4 man ult. Stasis Bomb was used. Meds did not have his ultimate. He had the ability to hit, again, 3 to 4 people and allow his team to clean up. Just another misplay coming out of Reborn at this point. I mean, that's the second or third misplay we've seen 17 minutes into this game. This is very uncharacteristic of Reborn. They normally don't make these misplays, and to misplay like this against Oxygen is not. It's not going to look good for you in the grand scheme of things.
Scheme.
The grand scheme. I said it right.
Schedule.
Scheme.
If some people say schedule, but they don't say sheen. I don't get it, man.
I don't understand
dialect.
Reflect
are continuing to just resident sleeper over here on the right side of the map. I think because Reborn is very clearly playing for the late game, maybe they had an opportunity there. Maybe they're in this mindset. They're locked into this mindset of just play conservatively, play to the late game, that even though that opportunity was presented to them, they had a little bit of a cognitive barrier to break through, saying, oh, wait, we're playing for the late game. Hold on. Don't fight. But in fact, maybe a little bit more decisiveness there could have netted them at, I think, very minimum 1 kill, potentially a free Raptor or 2. But still, they didn't get the kill, but they still are favored in the late game here because of that Sparrow. Especially Grux falls off significantly. Rampage does too, but Grux's damage at least falls off significantly. And Meds already is transitioning into the tank build. He has the blood-soaked armor. I won't be surprised if we start to see a Toon Barrier emphasis on things like Thermobond as well.
Rotation behind Solo Nazgul here. Meds is going to hit that Warlord's challenge.
Ooh. Yeah, that's going to be that's a dead Gideon right there. Good interrupts, almost waiting for the torn space, and the siege minion is here to push down the tier 2 tower. J Leo's here. He's going to get knocked up. They're just trying to get down this tier 2 tower as quickly as they can. It's down to a quarter HP, and I think they're going to be able to pick this up here. Is there any sort of return response from Reborn? Leo gets taken out. It's all 5 team members here. I do not think Reborn were expecting that at all. They were not expecting a tier 2 tower push that quickly. Oxygen just so swiftly. They know about it, though. They were all spotted out by Ward. Reborn knows about this Orb Prime. It's 3v5. Reflect has his ultimate up. He has Tainted Magic up. Master Splinter has his ultimate. They potentially could make something happen here.
I mean, it's prime time, Shane. These guys rotated so quickly to this. This is just going to fall. Reflect is going to be in trouble.
Prime. Reflect may be in some trouble. Look at the damage of that Tainted Magic, though. Seismic Assault, Void Bomb. Reflect has the Reforged, and they should be able to get the kill. Wow, Reflect instantaneously gets blown apart right there. I think maybe Reborn should have just given that up right there. Nonetheless, Oxygen, man, did they just turn this game? They just grabbed this game by the horns and said, "This is our $2,500 to win." It's been a very passive game on both sides, and just like that, Prime card, tier 2 tower. What are they going to do next here? I think mostly push out a wave. If they get an inhibitor here, that would be very unexpected.
I don't know if they can get the inhibitor here. They can try for it, but do you overcommit? We saw what happened the last time they overcommitted. Reflect was able to defend 1v4. We're not in that same situation, but I think opening up this map, picking up a tier 1, possibly looking for another tier 2 tower here. They are split pushing. We see Arsenic over here split pushing. We've got both Phasma and Imsco taking down a tier 1 tower. We've got some posturing around the river buffs for meds. And there's the aggressive blink forward on the Solo Nazgul. Very uncharacteristic misplay from Solo Nazgul with that torn space.
Good dodge, but he didn't dodge the Seismic Assault. Rambrittles is going to get that Void Bomb off once again. I thought Solo Nazgul had a small hope of keeping himself alive right there after he was able to dodge the smash and grab, but not the case. Leo's going to jump up just in nick of time to avoid that R2000 rocket. Seismic Assault, smash and grab. Rambrittles is just on point with this Bellica. This is unprecedented, this sort of play on him. Reborn are up against the ropes here. This inhibitor, I think, is going to go down. Nadosic has the inner fire online, but it's only level 1. It's only 33% cleave damage. This inhibitor is going to fall. Now, don't forget, this is how Game 1 looked, and Reborn were able to pull themselves back up. But if they can just maintain their composure here, or I'm not even saying maintain their composure, find their composure, because it seems to be lacking at this point in time. Min inhibitor is going to be the next one under siege. Gideon. Solo Nazgul is going to be back on the field here in a matter of seconds, so they will have Black Hole. This is going to be a little bit more of a defensible position here from Reborn. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to do it, though. Containment Fence used onto Imsco, so that's good. They're keeping the damage down. The pull was there, but not able to pull him out of it. The inhibitor's still alive. Gideon back on the field. They're continuing to try to defend. Nazgul taking a lot of damage. Just one Void Bomb. So much poke. Can they get the kill? Nazgul's going to be forced to back. He's not in position to Black Hole, and the siege continues. It does not. Oxygen is going to sound the horns of retreat. They're still going to be happy about the last series of events. They picked up the left inhibitor, they picked up the kills, and they have themselves in a firm place to pick up $2,500.
So you made a comment saying this is what happened last game. Last game, when this happened, it was 30 plus minutes into the game, not 20 minutes into the game. Reborn had a much stronger early and mid than they're having right now. We saw Solo Nazgul torn space into a wall. He was trying to escape and get into the river buff. He didn't position it properly. He gets torn space into a wall. They're able to, yes, the smash and grab missed, but Team Reborn.net with the Seismic Assault into a Void Bomb. They're able to pick him up. Leo rotates in late, trying to help his teammate, and gets killed again. He's currently sitting at 4 deaths. He hasn't been much of an impact in this. And then you have Meds with the aggressive blinks, the aggressive smash and grabs. He's landing very important smash and grabs. They've taken down an inhibitor 23 minutes into this game, and they're playing perfectly. They've got great rotations, great team engagements, great counter engagements, and just great team fight. And Reborn doesn't have an answer for what's happening right now. 23 minutes into the game, an inhibitor is down. The card lead, Imsco at 39 card power. You've got Phasma at 26, Master Splinter only sitting at 18. He hasn't spent the rest of his card points yet, 22 in total. Meds, 33. He's got a massive lead over Leo Grande. Arsenic at 39 card power, a 9 card power lead over Nazgul. And Reborn at 37 card power. The lead on the side of Oxygen is really, really starting to build up. And I don't think Reborn's going to be able to answer back, Shane.
They're going to have to. The containment fences have been 1 or 2 man containment fences, and in this sort of situation, Team Oxygen, their positioning is so on point that Master Splinter realizes he's probably not going to get the highest value containment fences in the world. They're not using it as a means of primary initiation, which is exactly what you want to see. You want to see a fight start, and then you use the containment fence afterwards. That's when Gideon comes in. But nonetheless, I still want to see a little bit more value out of those containment fences. I mean, just getting meds in it and maybe trying to isolate Imsco. Phasma, I got to say, I have to give him so much credit. He is always having clutch pulls. Anytime Imsco, which it hasn't happened often, the few times it has happened, where Imsco is caught out of position, Phasma in position, has the tether up, get him back to safety, keeping Imsco's effective DPS up almost 100% of the time. The siege in the right lane is going to be difficult. Meanwhile, Emeralds and Reflector are duking it out, so it's a 4v5 or a 4v4 siege versus defense in the right side of the map. And Oxygen can play the slow game here. They know that left inhibitor is down. They know that wave is going to force a response out of Reborn here. Wave. And the moment that happens, that is when Oxygen are going to pounce on their opportunity. Another wave coming in. It's a pretty small wave. They're going to clear out Reborns immediately, and this is the engage that they were looking for. See if they can find the inhibitor here. Reflect is there, so it's going to be a 4v5 for a little bit. There's the high-value containment fence, but again, oh, Meds, can they get the kill? They do, so they're able to pick up a kill. This is what Reborn needs, but they need more. They need more than just this kill. They need to find a foothold in this match, one that they haven't had since about the 10-minute mark. Still, they keep their inhibitor alive, and they're able to get that going. Yeah, I don't know. Nazgul has been so conservative.
There's another 2-man containment fence and no black hole. Is he that afraid of Med's Warlord's challenge? Like, I don't understand what he's waiting for. Get in, position yourself. Even if you get a little bit of damage, you have tainted magic online. You use that 450 pull to help your team counter engage. Like, what is he waiting for? I don't understand this. It's miscommunications, or just solo Nazgul is too afraid to pull the trigger is what it's coming down to at this point. And I think Oxygen knows it, and that's why they're being aggressive as they are.
With that being said, one black hole can change the course of the game. One containment fence can change the course of the game. Them together could just turn this game back into Reborn's hands. Don't forget, game number 1, Reborn was in a worse position at this time than they were, or as they are now. They had 2 inhibitors down. The economical disadvantage wasn't quite as far in favor of Oxygen as it is now, but in terms of map control and being able to contend objectives and put themselves in winning situations, they have much more potential for that. Orb Prime being taken, Oxygen chewing it apart as quickly as he can. Leo goes in. He has the ultimate. Who's going to isolate here? Nato-Sick gets it with the piercing arrow, but Leo Grande gets taken out. So even though they have the Prime card, it's still a 5v4. Oxygen know they still have an advantage. Imsco gets stunned up, but this is Team Reborn in full retreat mode. Reflect wasn't there, but still, that was a really good play. As long as Leo Grande is back in the field by the time Oxygen's able to get anything done, that piercing arrow, that steal from Nato-Sick, keeps the hopes and dreams alive of Reborn.
Yeah, they needed that play. That was a great steal. Leo Grande went in, sacrificed. That's a tactical feed that we've seen from Leo Grande.
Yeah, that was a true, yes, agreed.
Yeah, piercing arrow coming through the wall, able to pick up that Orb Prime, and now Oxygen has to back off. That's exactly what Reborn needed to get themselves back in this game. Now they have to capitalize off of this. I'd like to see them push into... I want to see them try and stabilize their lane and push into the minions that were stronger than before, but that could be a very risky play. If they go for that, it's going to be interesting to see how they do this. They're going for Imsco, and then we're going for Raptors right now while Reborn resets. So they have to pick a lane. I want to see where they get aggressive and where they push this out.
This Prime card on Reflect is going to enable him to push down this wave so quickly. Pretty much the exact same build we saw in game number 1 on Reflect. Really his only damage items are the little bit of power that he gets out of his ward, Tainted Magic, and Radiant Mantle. Other than that, he goes pure tankiness. This time around, though, it's nope, it's still the same situation. A majority of the damage on the side of Oxygen is ability damage, with Imsco providing the only source of basic damage. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see that double tune barrier on him again. But the main thing about the Prime card being online is it's going to enable him to push down this wave even quicker, give more breathing room to Reborn, potentially even do some split pushing as well. That you actually can split push against set waves against super minions. It just takes a little bit longer to do, and I think Reflect isn't able to pull that off. Mid lane is where Reborn are going to try to get something going. The Boulder lands onto Imsco. Good pull. Wow, Imsco barely lived right there. So much burst damage. If Reborn could do that one more time, they could take this. Reflect very low. Reforge not going to be popped. The push continues here. Energy lands the Tainted Magic. Is he going to get it? Nope. Reflect's barely going to be able to live right there. So, as of right now, all they have is a tier 1 tower. If they need more, Leo Grande pops in, Rage is going in there, but where's the rest of his team? He needs his team. Here comes the black hole you were asking for, ladies and gentlemen. But is the follow-up there? Reflect diving under the tier 2 tower. It's a 4v5. The Prime cards are online. Nazgul gets taken out. Arsenic ends the dreams of Reborn to get themselves a fight and potentially back into this match. There's a containment fence. Where was it before? Nato pops the ultimate. Stasis Gem used on Phasma. If they take down FaZe, that's great, but it's only a support. Can they do it? Reflect goes in. They pick up the kill. Their Reborn might be turning this around. Rambriels is going to die to the Reforge damage. No, Nato-Sick picks up the kill. A 2 for 2. Phenomenally performed there by Reborn. There was a poor initiation, but it was a black hole afterwards. They came back, took the fight. I thought for sure Reborn was going to be falling apart right there, but somehow they come back from the ashes to take down the tier 2 tower. And these guys are showing signs of life, but they are not out of it yet. They have to do that several times if they want to get themselves back into a comfortable position. Still, that was very, very well done by them.
So I want to point out a couple things here. I want to point out one, yes, they cleaned that up. That was a massive miscommunication from on the side of Reborn. Leo Grande popped that ultimate, jumped in. He got deleted. Black Hole came in.
That's my type of play.
They were able to get a little bit of value off of that Black Hole. They picked up some kills, and yes, they get the tier 2 tower. I think they wasted a lot of time with that Orb Prime being activated and giving themselves, at least evening out the advantage when it comes to card power. They only pick up a tier 2 tower out of this. I think if they would have been more aggressive, they could have possibly got up and got an inhib, but they played it very slow. I think they played it a little bit too passively, and then again, that ultimate out of Leo Grande, I really don't understand the reason behind it, especially when his team was as far back as he was, and the initiation didn't come soon enough. They could have got more.
Yeah, if imagine
they've done something right here,
if the follow-up was a little bit quicker, that could have been a decisive team fight.
Yeah, and that's, I think
they went into that 4v5 essentially.
Yeah, I think that was the miscommunication, is that there wasn't follow-up. Is that Leo went in just a little bit too aggressively. I just picture comms. I'm ulting, go! And they're like, wait! And he's already in the fight, and they have to come back and answer. I mean, so they get something out of it, but they could have got more if they were just a little bit more aggressive.
It shows that Oxygen does bleed, though, because in game number 2, it seems like that they are just cold-hearted killers. They are now the ones in the right lane. They lost the last engagement, but they still are moving on this map with a great deal of swag and a great deal of confidence. Remedials has pushed mid lane up against the inhibitor, now shifting over to left lane, not right, to split this up and get his super minion wave up against the core. I really like that decision as opposed to showing up to the right side and making it a 5v5 situation. Forces reflect back. Greystone is not here to deal with this push. Med's taking a significant amount of damage here. I actually believe I have a display bug, but that's okay. Going into this, it's still going to be a 4v4 defense. I want to see a black hole containment fence. Oxygen has done a really good job at avoiding it, but Master Splinter plus Nazgul, they themselves can turn this game around. Stasis Gem used very early on Arsenic. The pull was actually onto Meds, not onto Arsenic, and they get the kill. A misplay from Phasma. Could be Reborn getting it turned around. There's the containment fence we've been looking for. Nazgul uses the black hole, and they are just keeping themselves all slowed up inside of it. Phasma, he can't get himself out quicker, and he more than likely will get taken out. Phasma, torn apart by the inner fire of Sparrow. Leo Grande is already getting himself forward. They want to take down Meds as well. This could be the moment where Reborn turns this around. There, Med gets taken out. That's the containment fence in the black hole that Reborn have been itching for this entire game. The question remains, what can Reborn do with this window of opportunity?
This is that was a play they needed. They got exactly what they needed out of that. They picked up 3 targets. They've got finally a black hole that got some value. Orb Prime is going to be spawning here in 27 seconds. I mean, do they make a play for this, or do they just restabilize their lanes and start pushing one of these down? So we're starting to see a little bit more life into Reborn now. That's exactly what they needed to do. Again, a black hole containment fence that got some value. They're able to pick up the 3. I don't want to see them bait and switch this Orb Prime, though. I want them to not do what they're about to do because I see it happening. I don't know if I agree with this call.
It's a bold call, but it's a bold teams who are able to make comebacks like this. Master Splinter, he's trying to zone as best as he can. I don't believe he has a containment fence online as it was just used in the most recent team fight. The Orb Prime very, very low. They have to be careful about the steal. Ramros is going to go in. NATO 6 able to pick it up. Oh, Master Splinter's very low. There's not going to get much value. Emsko picks up the kill onto the support. The black hole onto Emsko and Phasma. Huge black hole. The Stasis Gem just delaying the inevitable. Solo Nazgul's been around the corner. Ramros looks for the kill. It does not happen. Reborn are able to take the fight. They take the Orb Prime. Can they go up the gut and get this game a minute without Ramriddles, a minute without Imsco, the Orb Prime online? I think they might be able to do this. It's Meds and it is Arsenic to defend. This would be a miracle if Reborn turned this game around right here, and it looks like they are going to be capable of turning a miracle around. Meds and Arsenic, it's up to them. A game 3 is looming in the background. The silhouette of it, they can see it. Reborn can smell it and taste it. They want those dollar bills. Meds is stunned up. He's taking so much damage. NATO Check takes him down. Reborn are coming back from the ashes just like their name implies. And they, ladies and gentlemen, are going to take game number 2. Bold plays coming out from them. Are they going to take game number 2? Leo was low. Reflect is low as well. Natosic trying to get the damage down. Yes, now the minions are here. Now the damage from Natosic is here. They're trying to do what they can. What a comeback from Reborn. Beautifully executed. Bold statement. Leo Grande had a sloppy game. We'll call it what it is in the first couple of minutes. But he maintained composure, regained their foothold. That Orb Prime call was so bold and so ballsy, but that's what you need to do to take games like that. Beautifully done. Boys, game 3, the dream. It's real. It's here.
Did not agree with that play, and they said, shut up, Notch. This is the right play. Right down the throat of Team Oxygen, and they take game number 2. We're about to go to a game number 3. Very well done. Sloppy gameplay coming out of Leo. He needs to clean that up for the next game. But what a great play at the end there. Congratulations to them. 1-1, Shane. Game number 3 for $2,500. Guys, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in just a few minutes to finish out this series. Who's taking $2,500? Woo! Let's do this, baby. We'll see you guys in just a few minutes.